Battlefield 2042's latest update improves some of its biggest issues. Ex-DICE devs show off their destructive new FPS game, Google finally killed Stadia, and much more on This Week in Gaming. Update 2.1 launched for Battlefield 2042 this week. DICE reworked the renewal map to make the gameplay flow much better. Entire areas of the map were removed, the landscape was changed, new buildings were added. Overall, the map is more or less the same, but many players have expressed how happy they are with the extra cover and redesigned spaces. PC players are also happy with the latest update, as DICE has improved the mouse input delay. According to Florian, the lead gameplay designer, about 4 milliseconds of input delay have been removed. Mouse input still isn't as good as in previous games, but it is noticeably better than it was before. Florian has confirmed that further input improvements are coming in future updates. The Polaris RZR transport vehicle was also added with the update. It's found as a pre-spawn vehicle on maps it's been added to. Several portal weapons have also been ported across the all-out warfare mode. These include the P90, Gold Magnum Sniper, and the M1911 sidearm. In an official live stream, DICE confirmed that future updates would port across more portal weapons. Data miner Temporeal also shared a list of new portal weapons being added at some point. The MTAR 21, SKS, RPK, AUG, VSS, and STEN can all be found in the game files, but they aren't exposed to players or officially announced yet. The closed alpha testing for upcoming free-to-play FPS The Finals launched this week. The playtest is under NDA, which means participants can't share footage, stream the game, or really talk about their experience in detail. However, impressions from participants that have spoken about it seem very positive. The game blends extraction royale, team deathmatch, and incredibly dynamic destruction together to create a very unique experience. It features 12-player lobbies with 4 teams of 3 players each competing to have the most money in the bank at the end of the match. Money is earned by getting kills, looting, and banking what you've collected. Other players can kill you and even steal the vault that you're depositing money into, but the destruction is clearly the highlight of the game. Entire buildings can be blown apart from the ground up or top down, creating a much more dynamic playing field than most other FPS titles. Destruction being a key element in the finals makes a lot of sense. It's being developed by Embark Studios, which has several ex-Battlefield developers in their ranks. The closed alpha runs through the weekend. The third-person roguelike Returnal is supposedly coming to PC. The PlayStation 5 exclusive was shown returning on PC in a now-deleted YouTube video. The clip in question shows the game's in-game setting on PC, which boasts much more options than the PlayStation 5 version. Resolution scaling, dynamic resolution, DLSS, and much more can be spotted. This is the 4th time the PC version of Returnal has popped up online. There's been no official word from Sony at this point regarding a PC port, but with more and more console exclusives launching on PC, it'd be no surprise if Returnal follows suit. Wild Hearts is a new hunting game developed by Koei Tecmo and published by EA. Koei Tecmo is a Japanese studio that made games like Nioh and Ninja Gaiden. Wild Hearts isn't your typical hunting game, however. Players will explore the vast fantasy realm of Azuma. Roaming the lands are giant nature-infused beasts ranging from mutant squirrels to massive winter wolves called Deathstalkers. You salvage lost ancient technology to create hunting weapons and gear called Karakuri. Comparisons are being made to Capcom's Monster Hunter games, but the devs have assured fans that they are aiming to create a different sort of game. Wild Hearts will feature solo and co-op play with up to 3 players and support crossplay with PC and next-gen consoles. It launches on February 17th, 2023, and extended gameplay reveal is set for October 5th. EA Motive's Dead Space Remake leaked many details on its Xbox store page. Several screenshots show the game's protagonist Isaac Clarke taking on different enemies with the iconic plasma cutter weapon. The images show players the graphical improvements made over the 2008 original. The game's description also showed up on the store page. It promises to improve the game's lighting, audio, and gameplay while staying faithful to the original. Interestingly, the store page also mentions in-game purchases for the remake. This suggests suggests it'll feature microtransactions in some form. It's unclear what this would look like, but it should be noted that the original game's console version also featured in-app purchases. It let players buy exclusive skins and upgrades for weapons. Dead Space will launch on January 27th next year for PC and next-gen consoles. Ubisoft has delayed its highly anticipated pirate game Skull and Bones yet again. It was originally revealed in 2017 and has reportedly been in development since 2013. It was delayed several times before, and during a press release this week, Ubisoft announced a new March 2023 release date. According to them, the delay is because of the feedback players gave in its recent testing program. The game is technically finished, but the devs are taking this extra time to polish and balance the experience based on player feedback. An open beta for the game will take place before launch, but Ubisoft hasn't shared specifics on that just yet. After months of delays and over a year since its announcement, Intel is finally shipping its new Arc series graphics card. The Arc A770 will go on sale on October 12th, the same day Nvidia is launching its highest-end RTX 4090 GPU. Intel's entry features 16GB of GDDR6 memory and new super sampling tech that'll compete with AMD's Fidelity FX and Nvidia's DLSS. According to Intel's CEO, the A770 will retail at $329 and should offer consistent 1080p performance. Based on Intel's statement, their goal is to make PC gaming affordable again after GPU prices have shot up. Performance seems to be on par with Nvidia's RTX 3060, a card that retails for about the same price. There are currently at least 8 Star Wars games in active development across multiple studios. Most of them are unnamed projects in early stages, while others, like Respawn's upcoming Jedi Survivor, is on track to release by March 2023. This uptick in Star Wars games is happening because EA lost its exclusive rights to developed games based on the franchise last year. According to a report from Insider Gaming, Disney and Lucasfilm want one AAA Star Wars game and another minor title to launch every fiscal year, which means a new game every 6 months. Post Jedi Survivor, potential releases could be another title by Respawn, Saber Interactive's Knights of the Old Republic remake, or an untitled project from Uncharted's Amy Hennig. It seems like a good time to be a Star Wars fan with all of these new games on the horizon. Google is shutting down its Stadia streaming platform. The cloud service will remain active for players until January 19th next year. All users will be issued a full refund for purchasing any hardware and add-on content. This applies to the Stadia controller as well. Their reasoning for the closure is due to the lack of traction with gamers, though Google has stated that the research and tech development gone into Stadia will be applied in other areas of their business. For now, users can expect refunds sometime in January. Unfortunately for developers building Stadia titles, they got news about Google shutting the platform down at the same time as the public. Multiple developers have titles coming out in just days or even weeks for Stadia that need to rework their entire launch. Tactical FPS World War III finally went free to play this week. The developers launched the game's open beta with a new map and in-game store. World War III has been through some wild times over the years. It originally launched as an early access title way back in 2018 to mixed reviews. Since then, the developers have been working on a complete overhaul for the title. They eventually partnered with My.Games to increase funding and get more resources for development. The partnership meant the game would go free to play and also launch on My.Games store, and after nearly an entire year of radio silence, the devs released a closed beta build of the game last year. It's been available off and on since then, with big updates launching sporadically. The open beta's launch is a huge step forward for World War III. Anyone can download and play it now, not just people willing to buy beta access or who had bought the game during early access. If you guys are interested in a review or impressions video about the open beta, let us know in the comments. Before our next story, let us know what you think about the latest update for Battlefield 2042. Are you liking the renewal rework, and how does your mouse input feel to you? Early reviews are in for Overwatch 2. As expected, the game feels more like a major update to the original versus an actual sequel. That said, many reviewers say the follow-up brings enough innovation and new content to genuinely warrant being a full release. It's launching as a free-to-play title with an entirely new meta based on 5v5 instead of 6v6 matches. It also adds 2 new heroes, with more likely on the way for seasonal updates. Players new to the franchise will have to unlock Overwatch 1's hero roster rather than having them all unlocked by default. Overall, it seems like Blizzard have created a pretty meaningful and robust update to their hero shooter that doesn't reinvent the wheel, but still manages to break the rigid meta players started growing tired of with Overwatch 1's later seasons. Overwatch 2 releases on October 4th. Now, if you're looking for my thoughts on Battlefield 2042's latest update, I did a full video breakdown of the new content, the changes to renewal, and more. Check that video out. Next, it's right here. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.